break it free from the mainstream, the studio machine. I want it my way. Indie Film Nation, you know it's gotta be Indie Film Nation.
Bruce Humble, Indie Film Nation. We're here with Andi Timoner, and we're talking about what she's been doing with her film, We Live in Public. Can you give me a brief synopsis of the film, and then tell me how you're working with the distribution of this film?
So, well, first I should say, we're here at Sundance 2010, and it's interesting because I'm here as a juror this year, and last year I was here with We Live in Public. It actually premiered a year ago on January 19th, and then Obama was inaugurated, and then we had our second screening at the Holiday Village, and we went on to win last year the Grand Jury Prize. And because of the economy, we basically ended up putting the film out ourselves because the offers were such that it just made no sense to sell all rights for this film. It just didn't make any financial sense, and the fact that the economy was bad was not a good enough excuse, because this is sort of a timeless piece. It's culled from 5,000 hours over 10 years, and we realized that the film's subject matter, the internet and the internet's effect on our lives, and this particular individual who's somewhat of a cautionary tale, Josh Harris, and his visions of how we would give up our privacy when online came. We would sort of trade our privacy for connection, recognition, and whatever it is that we, that we seek as human beings from the moment we leave the womb and we're alone. We seek not to be, and he could see that we would all want our 15 minutes of fame, and we could get it every day with the internet. Well, I realized, wait a second, the internet's here now, and as ironic as it may be, we can use the internet to reach our audience. So that's what we did all year long. I started a Twitter account when I came to Sundance last year, and now I post, regularly, post pictures online every day, that I'm in public. I don't tweet really from private. I have a private life, and it's interesting because I've shown the movie all around the world at this point, and we had conversations, physical conversations in the physical world, and everyone talks about, how the virtual world is taking over their lives, or how they feel this urge to tweet right after the movie about how great the movie is, or whatever the irony is. Well, that's the thing, is that because of the internet, we were able to put this movie out. And so through Twitter, through blog posting, through live webcasts, we've done it, and we've thrown wonderful virtual parties. And now here we are a year later, and we've just partnered with Gravitas, who have an output deal with Warner Brothers, to do video on demand in 85 million households starting March 1st. And also across all digital platforms, iTunes, what have you, through Warner Brothers distribution. And then with Indie Picks for the DVD, which will drop on March 2nd. To celebrate that and sort of come full circle, my brainchild here was that I wanted to have the entire nation and world, if possible, engage in a conversation. I don't mean like every human, but everybody interested in this subject matter, or who is clued into We Live in Public, themovie.com, or our hashtag WLIP. I mean, it's sort of spread in a very organic and virtual way. So what I'm doing is, we're organizing simultaneous screenings in sort of semi-theatrical or theatrical settings that have a web component, that have the ability to be online. So in Los Angeles, it'll be at 6 p.m. In Vancouver at 6 p.m. In Denver at 7 p.m. In Chicago, it'll start at 8 p.m. And in New York, it'll be at 9 p.m. And the movie will play on March 1st for those audiences. And online, there will be all these highlights and clips that you haven't seen from the movie and from extras during that hour and a half. And when the movie ends simultaneously, and the UK is also releasing that day. So I don't know what time it'll be for them, early morning, but I'm sure some diehards will be tuning in. At the end, Josh and I will host a Q&A. Then different people and celebrities and so forth that have come to be real fans of the film along the way will jump online from their webcams as well and jump into the conversation. And every theater or event will also have a feed. So everyone, when you go to WeLiveInPublicTheMovie.com, you'll see it simultaneously in every city.
Do you expect people to be twittering during the film?
They'll tweet through the film, they'll tweet through the Q&A, the back channel will run, we'll answer questions from all over the world, and we'll have a 24-hour party full on with pods, etc. in Chicago. That will be also webcast after the Q&A, and the conversation will continue and there will be pods and surveillance running the entire time as well.
So how'd you come up with this concept, and who's your team, or how'd you develop this team?
The team is completely like, you know, a volunteer militia. I mean, it's just, you know, Nate De Niro, our incredible webmaster, Merritt Lear, our associate producer, Paul Makumbe, who came on as an investor and a partner, Vladimir Radovanov, one of our executive producers, Indy Pix, who jumped on and are really enthusiastic about the film, Gravitas, you know, so we've got, you know, various people, Bob Alexander, Nolan Gallagher, Jason Tyrell, you know, these are new partners of ours, as well as across the country, Futuristic Films in Denver, in Chicago, Sean McHugh, our executive producer, AAA will be the spot in Chicago. That is a ticket you want to get. Yep. You want to get into that party. That's the one. And New York, Indy Pix is going to host it at location TBD, and then I forget who's doing it in Vancouver, but other cities can sign on too. And just yesterday, I was on a panel here, and we just press released this yesterday. Right. And when we did, someone came up to me and said, I have the American Cinematheque, I have the Egyptian, I have this event space, I have that event space. So, you know, hopefully over the next month, it'll become a bigger thing. But we need to build a Skypeosaurus to make it all happen and channel all the entire conversation through. But it's completely organic, totally low budget, and you know, as usual, we're sort of flying by the seat of our pants. But We Live in Public is a really, I think, a really special and important film, and I feel like this is the way that it should be celebrated and born. It's like I always said, I have to get my kid to college. You know, I didn't expect when I came last year, you know, because Dig was here in 2004, and it won, and right before it won, I made a deal for Dig, which I sort of somewhat regret at this point, but I mean, it was quite a, you know, hefty deal for a music documentary, but it was 2004. I didn't expect to show up here and not walk away with the movie sold. I didn't expect to walk away holding the bag, but it's been an incredible experience. I mean, Interloper Films put the movie in 15 different cities, you know, and we rolled up our sleeves and we just went with it. And now it's time to get the kid to college. So we're putting the child in college and we're celebrating. It's like our goodbye, our graduation party on March 1st.
Do you recommend?
Hello. I mean, now the entire nation can see this film, and I think it's going to make some waves. And we have a cool DVD with a lot of extras.
That's why I love the extras. This is the stuff you don't get to see in this. I know you had 5,000 hours.
What we have, if you want.
Sure. What would you have?
And then I've got to run because I have another movie to see for the jury. So
we'll try to hook up in Chicago then.
Yeah, definitely. You can cover it. So guns, an extra about guns in the bunker.
That's a whole subject in itself.
An extra about the pods and how they were built. A piece about me, about like my film history, and a piece, this is pretty amazing, with Josh watching for the first time, because he did not watch the film for a really, really, really long time. He would go to Q&As, but he would never watch. And now he finally sat down and watched the film. And we filmed it, and it's pretty awesome.
Do you recommend this for any other filmmaker, this strategy?
I think it's inevitable. It's an evolutionary process we can't deny. We are no longer just artists. We have to be business people too. You have to be responsible for making sure you find an audience these days. It's not as simple as just handing it over to a buyer, you know. And you know what? They didn't do such a great job anyway, most of the time. Most filmmakers are not happy with their distribution deals. It's not easy right now, and the financial models are flimsy, and the internet's still the Wild West, but I think what we did with We Live in Public, you're going to see happening more and more and more, and in the next couple of years, it'll be a more solid way to actually, you know, reach your audience, see a return on your investment, et cetera. For us, it's the slow boat to China, but we don't care. We just want to show it to everybody and keep the conversation going.
And it's a great film.
Thank you so much.
I want it my way. Indie Film Nation, going all the way. Indie Film Nation, you know it's gotta be Indie Film Nation.